those moments where you're just like, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to pretend that I didn't see that. I very much just had one of those moments. My cat, also named Wednesday, my little mini me, I did not name her. She just is like, she likes sitting on the banister at the top of the main staircase. And it's just, I've literally seen this bitch fall before. Only once, but she did lose her balance once. And she fell from the top to the first floor, which is really fucking far. It was terrifying. It happened right in front of me. And she was just like, you're such a drama queen, Mom. Like, she was fine. She just like scampered off. And yeah, 0 lessons learned because I just saw her just perched so high up. And I'm like, yeah, it feels kind of like the first time you see evidence of a mouse in your apartment and you're like, oh, what does this really likely mean? I I don't want to look at that. Yeah. So that's where we are. We're channeling New York City, pretending that we're not hearing mice in the walls in our new apartment that we just signed a lease on. Vibes right now. That's what we're doing. We're also cold as hell, as you can tell, because I'm bundled up in my new heated wearable blanket, which, hey, Sphinxy Poo. You can see Sphinx, my Mexican hairless, is also bundled up because she does not have the requisite fur to keep her warm in this wintry tundra, which actually is the perfect segue into Vlogmas episode 2. So welcome everyone. As promised, this evening we're going to be talking about the peculiar case of the Hearth Beast. Okay, so what are we doing? A couple of things. First of all, what is a peculiar case study? I like data a lot. And I actually really like data. I don't like data when it's convenient or when it confirms the story and the narrative that I want it to confirm. I just appreciate data, even when it tells me things I don't want to hear. Like that grand plan that you had is definitely not fucking working. Even that data I appreciate. And so as I am building this soft life with my platonic life partner and our growing menagerie, I don't want this to just be something that's vibes based. That's kind of a perennial annoyance of mine that society generally seems to run on vibes. And I'm like, that's a charming anecdote, but could you give me some actual data? And so I am practicing what I preach, and I am going to be exploring a series of peculiar case studies as I try and put together a life, a routine, a soft existence that suits me and the community and my partner and my pets and all the things. And one of the things that is going to make that much easier is figuring out how to heat a house like this. So that is where the Aga cooker comes in. So if you're not familiar with an Aga cooker, it is essentially a type of stove, although some people get very precious about using the word stove to refer to an Aga. It is Pugsley. Who asked for that? Literally no one. It is a massive cast iron hearth beast. The one that I have my eye on is 1,000 pounds, which is pretty standard. And here is the story of the Aga cooker. So it was invented in, I believe, the 1920s by a Swedish physicist who had recently won the Nobel and also recently gotten into some sort of accident. And there was an explosion at work, I believe, and he went blind. And so he was at home and he was recovering. And while he was at home, he began to notice that cooking on the stove that his wife was accustomed to using, which presumably was wood burning at the time or coal burning or something appalling that we would just be horrified to think of the fumes that were being inhaled. And so he's noticing that, like, oh man, this actually seems like kind of a drag for my special lady friend. I wonder if I could come up with something that would make cooking more efficient, easier on her, healthier for her. And it's interesting to me that he gained this insight and this like new perception of his partner after literally losing his sight. There's something there, but I digress. And so he invented the Aga cooker. And the thing that is unique about this kind of cooking instrument, this kind of stove, is that it is designed to always be on. And so it reaches like a certain temperature, and because it's cast iron, it retains the heat. I'm going to be revealing my just massive ignorance about the actual science of how this works, but that is what's supposed to happen. And so they are very popular in a very specific kind of home and wildly impractical for a lot of other people. I learned about this cooker decades ago. So first of all, it's gorgeous. Like, let's not pretend like part of this isn't just that it is visually a stunning appliance. It is truly beautiful. However, for a long time, as much as I kind of pined for one, it didn't really ever seem like it was going to be a practical thing for me to have in any kind of life that I really imagined myself living. Like, it's always on, and so it's always giving off radiant heat. And usually in modern day kitchens and modern day living, like, that's not really what somebody wants. It's not the vibe. It's like, oh, so it's going to be hot as hell in the summer, and like what exactly? I'm never going to want to cook because like the heat is going to be like, that sounds like a disaster for a lot of people. However, I did end up buying a Victorian mansion that is like pretty glacial in the winter. And in terms of like the microclimates around the various parlors of this house, it is giving like Arctic freeze at times. Like, it's very castle-like in the vibe, which can be atmospheric and good, but like, I'm bundled up. I'm not like the YouTube girlies in LA. This is not me casting aspersions on people who live in LA. I'm just saying it's warm there. And so I always thought it was funny during like fall when they're like, oh, my fall routine, and they're filming. And I'm like, do they just have the AC running in their apartment right now? Because they're decked out in like all of these layers. And I'm pretty sure it's like 78 degrees outside in LA right now. It's not 78 degrees outside. It's not 78 degrees in my home. Like, it's freezing. And so I have been keeping an eye out. Sorry for the camera. My dog Pugsley keeps bumping the table. I've been keeping an eye out for a used Aga cooker on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, asking around, asking friends, asking like antique shop owners. Can you keep an eye on this for me? And it's not super popular in this country. They're kind of hard to find. And god damn it, I finally found one. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I was just looking on eBay per usual, and I spotted one at a great price point, and it's gonna come with some complications in terms of like getting this beast actually installed. And so that is where you kind of join me. Here is where we are with the Aga sort of journey. So I found the cooker. I communicated with the seller, and they're actually selling it on consignment, which is great because the people who are selling it are professional Aga installers. And this is not the sort of thing you want to DIY yourself. Like, the components are really heavy, and some of them are quite delicate. The enamel on the outside can crack apparently pretty easily. And like, it's just not like, you want somebody who does this professionally for this particular kind of appliance to be the person who is uninstalling it from its original location, transporting it correctly, and then reinstalling. It's kind of like, you don't really want to just hire like 2 people and a truck if you have a piano that is already tuned that you want moved. Like, people do actually need to know what they're doing when they move this sort of thing. And so that has created its own complications because the cooker that I found online, and it is not local. And so we're figuring out how we're actually going to get it here. And because the holidays are coming up, we're not actually going to be able to get it installed until the end of January, likely, which actually works out kind of perfectly because I need to make some changes to the kitchen, to Agnes's Kitchen, which is my grandmother's namesake, before we're actually ready for this new cooker to go in. And boy, oh boy, once this thing goes in, it's going to unlock so much shit for me. It's going to be incredible. Because the cooker is always on, I can always be baking bread to feed my neighbors. I can always have a perpetual stew running. That's Georgette's perpetual stew. That's my sister's name. So that she knows that at any time she can show up on my front porch and there will always be a warm bowl of soup for her. And she loves soup. She loves it for breakfast. She loves it for dessert. She's just a big soup girly. And you know, I have a lot of pets and 2 of them are hairless. And so having the kitchen always be warm during winter, which where I live is like fully half the year kind of. Certainly when you have no fur, it's going to, you're going to perceive it as like, this is feeling awfully wintry, even though you're telling me it's mid-May. And so what I'm envisioning, and part of what captivated me about Aga cookers originally, were like these images of cherished family pets curled up in front of the Aga cooker because it's like the warmest seat in the house. And so that is the goal. You're also going to be able to warm things like mittens and scarves and like sweaters and put something toasty on before you like go outside and brave the cold. And I'm really excited about it. And so I thought originally that all I was going to have to do was get the kitchen ready, like prep the floors, paint the cabinets, do the things that I wanted to do and kind of move some things around to create space for this new cooker. Spoiler alert, when you are renovating, things rarely go according to plan, and this is no exception. And so the first roadblock that we have run into, now that we have identified a likely candidate, is the chimney. So the location is a little bit complicated. The stove currently shares a wall with the fireplace in the dining room, which is the room right next to the kitchen. And the cooker that I have my eye on needs to vent out into the chimney, I guess. And the chimney has not been functioning for like, I probably decades. Like this house was built in 1882. The chimneys are definitely have not been used in a really, really, really long time. At minimum, they need to be like inspected, probably lined, cleaned. I don't know. It could be a very pricey restoration process. But the thing that I need done just to get this appliance installed is not necessarily, like I don't have to do the full restoration in order to do the piece that will allow us to get our Hearth Beast dragon installed so that not everybody has to be layered up in all of the clothes in order to stay toasty warm, at least in that part of the house. So I will keep you posted on all of the logistics as we kind of figure out what that's going to look like. But in the meantime, a huge part of what we're going to be focused on for the next few weeks is this peculiar case study and what I need to do in order to prep for this Aga cooker actually being delivered in a couple of months. So what do I need to do? Well, mostly I'm going to go over that tomorrow because I'm going to shift filming locations and I'm actually going to show you Agnes's kitchen and talk through kind of how I want to use the space. I've lived here for a year and a half, so I've cooked a lot of my meals in this kitchen already, and I have a good sense of kind of what doesn't work for me and what I might like to change. But the other thing is that like when I bought this house, it was being used as an Airbnb, so there's just like, it's very Airbnb vibes in the kitchen. Like I never went through all of it was fully furnished when I purchased it. And so it's like, I have 3 of everything. I have like 3 ladles and like 3 spatulas and like I don't need necessarily all of it, and I haven't taken the time to actually go through and organize. And so inevitably what happens is that like I have a ton of stuff and I don't know where anything is, and so I might as well not have anything because I can never find the thing that I need when I want it. And so part of this process to get to the Aga cooker installation is going to be evaluating the current state of the kitchen, doing an inventory. There's going to be probably lots of it gets way worse before it gets better footage that's pretty messy in there. And then treating the floors, painting the cabinets, doing all the things. And then hopefully in a couple of months, we will get our Aga cooker installed, and it is genuinely going to be life-changing in terms of just like the daily rhythm of functioning in a house like this during the winter months. So I'm very excited. Tomorrow I will, like I said, I'll be filming. I'll show you Agnes's kitchen and give you like a little bit of a tour of that space, and then we will get started. But I'm really excited, like really, really, really excited. This is sort of one of those like dream come true that you like didn't really think was super realistic, kind of like a pipe dream basically. Like, oh, that would be nice. Like there's another stove that I've also coveted for a really long time it's a French stove called a La Cornue, and they're just beautiful. Like they're not more functional. They don't function a different way, but they're just stunning. And I kind of categorized Aga cookers. They're in a different price range, but I kind of categorized Aga cookers similarly. Like, I mean, why would I can't really justify spending the money on that. It turns out you can justify spending the money on it when you buy a drafty, haunted Victorian mansion that is a real pain in the ass to heat, and you have to get creative about how you want to do that. And I've decided that the way that I'm going to get creative about it is just by doing the shit that people were doing in 1882 when this house was built, which is creating microclimates, warming certain areas, and accepting that the whole house is not going to be, Pugsley, no thank you, a balmy 70 degrees at all times. Pugsley, come here. I apologize. My puppy is, I mean, he's living his best life, and I love that for him. And also I wish that him living his best life involved way less barking than it currently does. I still adore you, Pugsley, but like, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's going to be your fault if I absolutely lose my mind on camera, but I'm not saying that it's going to be your fault. In any case, that is where we are with the Aga cooker. The one that I have picked out is actually my dream color as well. She's a cream beauty. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. There is kind of a learning curve for cooking on this kind of stove because like by design, it's not like cooking on other kinds of stoves. That was like the entire point of building it this way. And so I am a little bit nervous about what it's going to be like to kind of maybe relearn how to cook after just recently learning how to cook, because I did not cook when I lived in Manhattan. Like, it's just so easy to order takeout. And so I did a lot. But then I moved to a town as a vegan that has no vegan restaurants. And so it became a situation of like, well, I guess if I'd like to eat, I should probably learn how to cook. And so I did. And now I'm going to learn how to cook kind of again on this new implement or this new appliance. And I'm pretty excited. But yeah, so that's what's coming. And I will keep you posted. So tomorrow I will be in the kitchen. I'm going to be filming probably during the day rather than after midnight, which is what I've done for the first 2 days of Vlogmas. But if you've joined me again, thanks for showing up again. And I will show you what we're working with tomorrow. Bye, y'all.